Luca Moretti had 3 rules. Never mix business with pleasure, never let the neighbors get curious, never fall in love. By the end of the summer, he had broken all 3. Luca Moretti was known in certain corners of the city as Il Falco, calm, calculated, untouchable. Unfortunately, none of that helped him when his new neighbor tried to murder him with a houseplant. It was 7:42 a.m. on a Tuesday when Luca stepped out of his apartment building carrying a perfectly pressed suit and a morally questionable briefcase. A ceramic pot came flying from the 3rd-floor balcony. It shattered at his feet. "What is wrong with you?" a woman yelled from above. Luca slowly looked up. A woman in pink pajama shorts and fuzzy slippers leaned over the railing, horrified. "Oh my God," she gasped. "I am so sorry. I was trying to water my basil and the pot slipped." Luca stared at the dirt on his Italian leather shoes. "You throw herbs at all your neighbors?" he asked calmly. She blinked. "Only the suspiciously well-dressed ones." He should have walked away. Instead, he smirked. Her name was Sophia Bennett. She worked as a children's book illustrator. She sang off-key. She laughed too loudly. She had absolutely no fear of Luca Moretti. That last part unsettled him the most. 3 days after the basil incident, she knocked on his door. He opened it halfway. "Yes?" She held up a lasagna tray. "Peace offering, and also apology, and also I think you might secretly be a villain, and I'd rather be on your good side." He raised an eyebrow. "Villain? You wear black every day, you never smile, you get picked up by men in expensive cars who look like they bite people for fun." "They do not bite people." She leaned closer. That wasn't a denial. He almost smiled. Almost. Sophia made it her mission to annoy him into humanity. She'd corner him in the hallway. "Luca, hypothetical question," she'd say. "If you were hiding something extremely illegal, where would you hide it?" "I wouldn't hide it," he replied once. Her eyes widened. That is the least comforting answer you could give. Another evening, she caught him carrying groceries. "Do mafias eat vegetables?" she asked. He froze mid-step. "What did you just say?" She pointed at his bag. "Zucchini. Seems suspiciously wholesome." He leaned in slightly. "Careful, Sophia." Her heart skipped, but she lifted her chin. "Or what? You'll throw basil at me?" He laughed. It startled both of them. Things escalated when Sophia accidentally walked into his apartment without knocking. She burst in holding a sketchpad. "You have to see this dragonite." She froze. 3 very large men in suits stood around Luca's dining table, which was covered in maps and things that were definitely not about dragons. One of the men slowly reached inside his jacket. Sophia squinted. "Are you guys playing Risk?" The room was silent. Luca sighed. "Gentlemen, give us a moment." They left. She looked at him. "You're not a businessman." "No." "You're not in waste management." "No." She narrowed her eyes. "Are you in the mafia?" He paused. "Yes." She blinked twice. "Like actual mafia?" "Yes." There was a long silence. Then she smacked his arm. "You could have told me. I've been making jokes for weeks."
"You made jokes knowing? I thought you were like accountant-level shady, not crime lord-level shady." He stared at her. Finally, she said, "Okay, but are you a bad one?" He frowned. "There are no good mafias." "Wrong. There are morally complicated ones with standards." Despite himself, he said quietly, "I don't hurt innocent people." She studied him. Then she nodded once. "Okay." "Okay," he repeated. "Yeah, okay. But if I find a body in the hallway, I'm moving." The problem with Sophia wasn't that she knew, it was that she cared. When Luca came home bruised one night, she stormed into his apartment with a first aid kit. "Sick," she ordered. "I am fine." "You are bleeding on your rug." He looked down. "Ah." She dabbed antiseptic on his cheek. He flinched. "Big scary mafia boss afraid of disinfectant?" she teased. "I am not afraid." "Then stop glaring at the cotton ball." He caught her wrist gently. "Sophia," he said softly,
This life is not for you. She met his eyes. Good, she replied, because I'm not joining, I'm dating you. He froze. Dating? Yes, you walk me home, you fix my sink, you look at me like I'm not ordinary. That's dating. He swallowed. I am dangerous. She smiled slightly. You're also the man who rescued a stray kitten last week. It was shivering. And you wrapped it in your $1,000 tout. Silence. Luca, she whispered, you don't scare me. That terrified him more than anything. When a rival family threatened Sophia to get to him, Luca made a choice. He walked into their territory alone. No one touches her, he said, voice deadly calm. You'd risk everything for a neighbor? They mocked. He answered simply, for her? Yes. By sunrise, the threat was gone, but something inside Luca had shifted. He came home to find Sophia pacing. The moment she saw him, she ran into his arms. I swear if you died, I would have killed you, she said into his chest. He held her tightly. I'm done, he murmured. With what? This life. She pulled back. Luca, I have enough. Money, influence. I can disappear. Go legitimate. She searched his face. For me? He shook his head. For us. A year later, Luca Moretti was no longer Il Falco. He owned a small, surprisingly successful Italian restaurant. Sophia illustrated the children's menu. He still wore black. She still sang off-key. One evening, as they closed up shop, she leaned against the counter. Hypothetical question, she said. He sighed. I am afraid. If a former mafia boss were madly in love with his neighbor, should he marry her? He stepped around the counter. Hypothetically, he replied, dropping to one knee. He already bought the ring. She gasped. Luca, I cannot promise a perfect past, he said softly, but I promise a peaceful future with you. She tackled him before he could finish. Yes, she laughed. Obviously, yes. As they lay on the restaurant floor, tangled and laughing, she whispered, You know, you're a terrible mafia. He kissed her gently. Could, he said. I'd rather be your husband. And this time, Luca Moretti broke his rules for good, happily.